Good morning. How's everybody doing? Morning, Robin. CJK. Well, it's not what it says here. He could be going in that direction, but I don't see anything. I think that was just some misinfo. But it could also be true at the same time, you know? Two things can be true at the same time. Can you guys make sense of this? I don't know what any of this means. Let's see. Verified request to prohibit public access to court record. So yesterday, well, actually on the 2nd, the prosecution were making some requests, some subpoenas, I think from CVS and the prison he's being held at. My assumption was that they were going to counter the defense's claims about mistreatment and things like that, which would be easy, right? Subpoena some video from the weeks and days prior to that pathetic looking photo they released to the public. And then also maybe even the time of the murders over at CVS, but I'm sure they need to get a lot from CVS. Punch-in times, video, who was he talking to? Was Richard Allen talking to somebody out in the parking lot? Did he work that morning? Did he work that evening? Did he work the day prior? No, they need everything. Motion to quash. Very close to the word squash. And they basically mean the same thing. What? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what the heck is a motion to reconsider and request for due process hearing? I don't know what any of this stuff is. What do you guys make of it? Hey, Beach Fairy. Olivia. What's up, Purdue? Hey, Anthony. Good to see you, man. Shout out to Iowa. Welcome. Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Get her out of my mind. Good morning, outside the grid. Miss Thang. Violet Gal. Jill, hey. True Crime Housewife. Jill. What's going on, guys? Good to see you, Joseph. Joseph says McClellan subpoenaed CVS and the prison where Richard Allen is staying at for information. And this stuff could all be textbook. No. We like to grasp at straws, jump at any sign of movement. Indy Pam, Jari, Jinx, good to see you guys. What's up, Derek? 517 kills. So motion to reconsider. What is that? What are we reconsidering over there in Indiana? To reject or void. Hey, what's up, Don? Digital Sparky. Lori, hello. Getting some good weather in Wisconsin. Shout out to Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Cheeks is asking, what evidence are people quoting to show that Richard Allen is being set up or is innocent? I honestly haven't seen anything, but I see a lot of people posting on videos and in live chats. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to address today. Like, I mean, if we can't all agree that that's Richard Allen on the bridge, I mean, I don't think we'll ever agree on anything. Because I've said it time and time again. Hey, I don't know, like if a Ron Logan's involved, but that could go for anybody that lives in that area, for all I know. We know that Richard Allen put himself there, and there's evidence at the actual crime scene that leads to Richard Allen. There's nothing like that going on with anybody else, except maybe like a Kagan Klein, but he's not tied to a crime scene. He's tied to the day of the crime, to the victims. But really it has nothing to do with the crime scene. Now, we could speculate on what law enforcement has behind the scenes. You all know how I feel about that. But I haven't decided either way. I mean, how could you? It's like we don't even have enough information to make an educated guess, really. Charlotte Dean, hello. Good morning. What's going on, Digi? Seashore Girl. Something odd going on. Others involved as well. I agree with that. I mean, there's a reason that the prosecutor thinks others are involved, and he's had a chance to see everything. You know what I mean? He's had his eyes on all of the evidence, and he's saying, "Hey, look, man, we got to be careful here. You know, this is just one guy. We got multiple bad guys here." Yeah, we need some lawyers. Somebody needs to go hit up the murder sheet. We need to holler at Kevin. That dude needs to go audition for movies. He was made for the camera. Richard Allen's face on your thumbnail looks as though he's clean cut, nice guy. Well, I guess he were very young. Person never knows the turn their life could take. Yeah, that's a scary thing. I mean, are these killers born killers? I mean, is it possible for a normal guy, to have like a set of stances happen, that just happen to make you go crazy or homicidal? Like, what is it? Is it something they're born with? Is it something that could possibly one moment. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Love you, baby. Okay. Ooh, some iced coffee here. That ought to help. Hey, what's up, Bogey? Good to see you. Tina, good morning. Joseph says, I don't think the subpoenas have any information in them other than that McClellan is subpoenaing the prison and CVS where Richard Allen worked. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what any of this means. But when I read it, what I see is that the defense has made a claim and now prosecution is going to counter it. You know, you can't just make outlandish claims unless you have evidence to back it up. Well, I mean, you can, but you're basically going into a knife fight with a spoon. Sparky says, my friend's a lawyer. I will reach out. Yeah, let's get a professional opinion here. Okay, so what if they made the subpoena and now they no longer want to go through with their previous threats? They're like, okay, we're already going in a different direction. We don't need all this. Hey, Karen. Good morning, Frank. Good to see you. Jamie rewatching Sleuth Intuition broadcast. Seriously, how did they not bring Richard Allen in for questioning at least? Derek is asking, was rewatching yesterday's broadcast. Seriously, how did they not bring Richard Allen in for questioning at least? I have given that question some serious thought, and the only answer I could come up with that makes any sense is that they had yet to release the image of the guy on the bridge. They had no description. So this would have had to be the 13th or the 14th. Because, I mean, if he's speaking with this conservation officer and the conservation officer has a point of reference, you know, boom, in the back of his mind, he's got this image of a guy in a blue coat, blue jeans, certain kind of build, kind of stocky looking, a little bit of weight on him on the upper body. If he has that reference and you have this fucking guy walking up to you, this Richard Allen guy, yeah, I mean, boom, like, dude, we're taking you in. Or at the very least, you are now our suspect. Especially because he admitted to being there. And that's the reason why I question his wife. I mean, she knew that he was there that day. So with her knowing that he was there that day, he was open about it. He didn't hide it. She's very familiar with that jacket. We've seen it in a bunch of Facebook videos. His voice is a very close match. So, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think there's any way not to know it's him. I think the next question is, did law enforcement give her plenty of reasons to deny it? With the new direction presser putting out bulletins saying, hey, this older looking sketch is no longer a suspect. I feel like they were giving her every reason to agree with what he was most likely whispering in her ear, like, hey, yeah, I was there. I don't know what's going on. I talked to fucking, what's his name, at the grocery store. So I don't know what, this must just be their tactic or strategy. And then boom, 2019 presser hits, and there's a bulletin that comes out that says this guy is no longer a suspect. Well, I guess it's back to business as usual. I guess you were right. You're not the killer. Maybe that's what maybe that's what they wanted. They wanted them to feel comfortable. Maybe it was designed for them to go back to business as usual. What's up, bloke? I don't know. That's a good question. I want to talk about that today. I thought a lot of you would be surprised at that poll. Matter of fact, let's take a look at that poll. Because if you're out there and you're seeing what people are saying, not everybody agrees that or believes that Richard Allen is a viable suspect. And I don't know if they're just ignorant to the information that's out there, playing devil's advocate maybe, which is healthy in some cases. Trying to put more weight on the scale, of justice to keep it a little bit fair. I don't know what their motivation is. It's confusing to me. But I think we're going to analyze the image today and just chat. Hey, what's up, Ruckus? All right. The question is Richard Allen the man captured on Libby's video walking on the high bridge? Is he the bridge guy? 66% say yes, 14% say no. I want to talk with this 14% if I could. Who are you? Are you guys out there? Are you willing to kind of take a step away from the crowd and talk about it? Beach Fairy says motion to reconsider most commonly used to ask the judge to reconsider the ruling and change one specific part of the court order ruling. Yeah, I did see a mention of an addendum, so that makes sense. It's like an official change. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks, Beach Fairy. Appreciate that. Ruckus Rocks. I spoke to Tim this morning. Great guy. Yeah, I knew you guys were going to link up, man. Yeah, Tim's intense. Yeah, I'm glad I got to meet him, and hopefully I can get to learn about him a little bit more. Karen says, laugh out loud. I knew you were getting a coffee brought into you. Yeah, this is a vanilla iced coffee, and it's freaking good. Can't get my day started without coffee. Hey, Miss Thang. Susie says everything we've seen so far seems to be health related. Insanity plea, his work history should quash that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I mean, he doesn't. It doesn't matter what state he's in right now. I mean, it matters, but I mean, he could be crazy as all hell right now. But what was his mindset during the crime? Now that's going to be something really tough to prove. I think it would be easier to disprove it. If he was working the day before, the day after, just get him on video with a smile on his face, walking around as normal. For a jury, that'd be very powerful. Now, if you subpoena his records from CVS and he's taking time off and he's taking mental health days and things like that, that would be great for the defense. But I don't think that's what's going on. And I don't think that's what was going on in the prison either. Cheek says, I truly think by the end of the year, we're really going to know basically everything that happened one way or the other, whether it's a trial or leak or documents being released. I mean, I hope so. One thing I learned about this case is you really can't predict what's coming. You don't know what's next. Hey, Michelle, what's going on? Good morning, Kiwi. Okay, I want you guys to focus in right here. Let me put this on. Okay, don't pay attention to any of this. Now, what we have going on, in my opinion, there's movement here and there's multiple captures of a person's face. And I think while they were editing this, they did their best to line up as many of those faces as they could by layering. They were using different layers. But if you watch this, you can capture some clear images. If you focus in right here, like this is one face. So if you notice right here, you can kind of see the hat. And it looks small. That's because these cameras are trying to focus in and out. But it almost appears as if he's got his face covered here. Who knows? Looking forward to watching your videos. Good. Thank you, Karen. What happens to a murder case if when others are involved that turns out deceased? Where's the prosecution lead to? It's a good question. Yes, Olivia says, I do not think that's that, Sleuth. There is something Richard Allen's attorneys want sealed. Yeah, they're trying to squash that shit. I meant quash. Hey, Moon Crystal. Good to see you. Shout out to the Divided Kingdom. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Get him, Derek. Help me, Rhonda says, I've always wondered why they didn't release more of the video early on of BG. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I understand put out this version, you know, that they labeled motion because I'm sure it was really bad. But I mean, put out the original as well and best quality you can, um, and edit out anything that could be harmful to the case or to the families. I mean, that's what they did here. We should have received two versions of this, I think. I mean, how hard they had this video available 2 days after the crime. How hard could they have worked on it? You know, it's the same video they had from the 15th or the 16th. If Richard Allen's wife knew but didn't tell law enforcement, can she be charged? I don't. That's a good question. Man, that's messed up. See, if that's true, that's like him like victimizing her or putting her in like a really bad position. Like he's just ruining. He's like a tornado, just destroying everything around him. Uh, but yeah, if you kind of focus in, you can kind of see some very Richard Allen esque features right in here. Let's see. Maybe we can make some adjustments here. Hey, WL22, maybe wife was simply afraid, especially if there was domestic violence against her in the past. Yeah, we don't know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know anything about Richard Allen. Everybody's like, "Oh, this, and that, or this would, this would have happened, or this." We have no clue. For all we know, this guy could have put a knife up to his wife's throat, or been abusive, or she's been with him her entire life. She knows about him. And if he's a really scary dude, she knows that. It's horrible. We were talking with Tim Corbett yesterday, and a lot of the reasons why these cases become cold to begin with is the witnesses are afraid to come forward. They're stuck in these marriages with these horrible people. Yeah, there's a group of people that think that's Ron Logan. Yeah, I agree with that. Callie says it doesn't sound like Logan, nor does it look like him. Well, it's really hard. I don't think the shape of his body looks like him, but I mean, it would be hard to say anything about the facial features. That's the part that makes me crazy. Chris from the hell's the name of that? Monsters Under the Bed. He did some really good work on this video. He basically went out and tried to recreate it the best he could. I mean, I think that was probably the best work I've seen on this video. And it may even explain what was kind of going on right here. What's up, Ricky? What's up, Ivy? Hope you're feeling better, Jill. Hey, Maureen. Good morning, Jamie. Indy Pam says, my choice was not sure because Doug Carter wouldn't answer the exact question from a reporter. And I think BG does look a lot like Garrett Kurtz. I don't know. We can't put Garrett Kurtz there that day. He's very suspicious. He could be involved. So could Ron Logan. So could anybody else that was there that day. But Richard Allen put himself there at that time, put himself on the bridge wearing that exact clothing. And you say, well, that doesn't put him at the crime scene. Well, they're going to try to prove that in court with that unspent bullet. All right, let's finish up in the chat. I mean, now that we know who Richard Allen is, when I look at this, I can see him in there, you know. You guys don't worry about Bogey. Bogey, calm down. Take it easy, buddy. Oh, Ruckus knows Steve pretty well, I think. Oh, you mean like a real one? No, don't worry about Bogey. He's with me. He'll chill. Yeah, the word squash. We're going to squash that subpoena, guys. We're going to squish it. Michelle says Richard Allen, something Sleuth said early on about BG being a shorter guy because of how his jeans bunched up around his boots. It fits short as fuck Richard Allen, and Sleuth and Fig Solves used maps to show Killer was likely a local. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much to look at that guy and say, hey, he's short and stocky. Larger upper body, chicken legs, lower. Sometimes you just got to trust your instincts. Thank you, Derek. Yeah, up or down, whatever. Olivia's like, I thought that was the hood of his hoodie. So did I for the longest. But if you notice here, it's actually looks like a face. It's like a stretched face. But right here is where his mouth is kind of covered. And you can see that right here. You can even kind of see like his glasses and shit that he puts on top of his hat. Kind of see that a little bit here. Thanks, Derek. Don says, we are glad you are here, Callie. We missed you, bloke. Hey, Sassy. I think someone else might be with him on that bridge. They're not showing us all of the video. Then I go back to someone was down below waiting. I mean, there could have even been somebody just waiting at the actual crime scene. You know, why is he taking him down there? What if they're fully aware that Ron Logan has those cameras? Because there was deer camera right out there in that crime scene area. Because there's a deer crossing right there. So if the criminals knew those cameras were there, that could have been their way of documenting the crime. And their motivation for getting them down there Because honestly, all you would have to do is remove the memory card, open up the back of the camera, and pull the card right out. Boop. Or even put your own card in there. Hey, Boston. Hey, Lakeside. I just feel wife that the wife knew, but then talked herself out of it. Yeah, and I feel like law enforcement or investigators gave her every reason to deny it. And that could have been by design. Maybe they were able to get a wiretap or something like that. The new direction presser would definitely, if you were a killer and something like that happened, you may get real comfortable. You might make a phone, you might feel enticed to make a phone call. SB74, good to see you. Tina's saying, I can't make a decision beyond a shadow of a doubt without more hard evidence. The facts just aren't there. Yeah, we don't have the information, and I don't think we're supposed to. But we're free to speculate and do our own armchair investigation. And that's what we're doing. Can't sit idly by. Hey, V. Richard Allen has been the closest match for me to BG so far. Yeah, to me, it was like a light bulb. Bink. So you can kind of see right here, his eyes and his nose are kind of sticking up over whatever this is over the lower part of his mouth. And then all this is movement. There's like one face here, one face here, one face here. And this is actually his profile, his side profile. In denial or being victimized? Can't tell. Yeah, exactly, CJK. We don't know. We have no clue what their home life was like. Mary Littleton says Richard isn't the one that did it, but I bet their sister was involved in her sister's murder. What are you talking about, Mary? Whose sister and what case are you referring to, please? Thanks. Four under, 44 under. Wasn't there a huge reward though? Yeah, but if anything, the one thing that probably helped her lean towards denial would be her own kids. You know, she didn't want any embarrassment to them. I mean, what an awful position to be in. When I think about it, it just makes you angry, you know. So I try not to think about that. Kind of go to a dark place, thinking about like all the trouble they caused, all the harm they did. They or him or whoever did this. I mean, you can kind of even see right here, like the eyes just kind of peeking out. Mary Littleton says that's not Richard Allen. Who is it? Who is this, Mary? There you go, V Marie. Yeah, MOB crew. Go check out Chris, Monsters Under My Bed. The MOB crew. You won't regret it. Oh, Moon Crystal. Yeah, I read about that. It was hearsay online, but there was a bar employee that overheard him saying to his wife that he was going to beat the hell out of her. I remember hearing about that. I couldn't verify that, but I do remember reading about that. CJK, there's some now thinking this is a drug deal gone bad. I'm surprised that's being revisited again. I don't know. If this is like a lone wolf situation, what I think is Richard Allen walked up to the bridge. Um, I mean, if you're going to attack somebody on a trail, don't you want to go get a good look at the entire trail? you know, I'm going to walk to this trail. I'm going to hang out over here. I'm going to park far away, like the BTK, around the corner, long walking distance. Um, to me, that doesn't make sense, but that's what a lot of these serial killers did is they parked and then they walked out of the scene, kind of snuck out of there. Me, I would want like a getaway car, like a stolen car or something, just parked right there, something I can just jump in and get out of there and then ditch. But that's not what these killers would do. They would park like a mile or two away and then they would walk out of the crime scene. That's kind of what Richard Allen did. If he knew he was going over to the bridge, that's pretty far away from where he parked. He had no clue people were going to put two and two together. He's like, I'm going to park way over here and then I'm going to go commit the crime all the way by that bridge over there. And on the map, it doesn't seem like anything. But if you go watch the videos like from Randy Gravitt or Julie Melvin or anybody that's kind of driven from the CPS building over to the Mears parking lot, it is quite a ways. If you're there in real time, it looks like a distance. In reality, it's really not. Um, but when you're there, yeah, it seems like it's really far. So I can see him thinking in his mind, like, my strategy is to park way over here and commit the crime way over there. I don't believe he's a lone wolf, but I mean, it could have played out that way. We know that he was on the bridge and there was a single female that sees him on the bridge and she turned away and continued on walking. I think he left that very moment because we know he mentioned sitting on a bench, right? And if we've learned anything about interrogation and interviews with suspects, they tell half truths. They tell the part that of the story that is true so that it comes off as a truth telling style, but he's leaving out all the incriminating stuff. So he mentions going to sitting on a bench and hanging out. Well, I think that's where he was. He followed the girl and then sat on the bench and waited for her to come back. Well, on her way back, he also notices Abby and Libby walking towards the bridge. So he's no longer interested in the girl. He's watching them. And this is playing devil's advocate for the lone wolf theory. If he's sitting on the bench, it would have been very easy for this single female walking witness to now have her attention diverted over there to the two oncoming teens and miss him ducked over here on the bench. But he has his eyes now on all three. The woman goes towards her car, sits in her car, and does whatever it is that she's doing. And he now sees the girls walking towards the bridge. And I think that at some point, he is watching and stalking, and then decides once they get probably closer to the south end and he sees that Abby is struggling, that may have been what triggered him. Like, no way she's going to be able to run across this bridge once I get down there. Oh, just a theory. Digital says, surely they would have checked in his work records before they arrested him. Yeah, but the police can't just go around like demanding your work records. It doesn't work that way. Like, you can't go into CVS and be like, I want his work records. Like, you got to go through channels. Beach Fairy says it's those skinny little legs with the bigger body. Yep, short, stocky with chicken legs. That's what I see. Thank you, V Marie. You guys are awesome. Flannel shirt guy. Yeah, we know Derek ran into an older gentleman, quote unquote. Was that Richard Allen? Wouldn't that be crazy? He definitely wouldn't have been muddy and bloody. Mary Littleton says, well, I first thought it was Logan, but I think Chelsea and her boyfriend killed them. What? Oh, geez. All right, guys, we're about to get out of here in about 5 minutes. If I missed your comment, I apologize. Hey, lesbian, haven't seen you in a while. Where you been? Good to see you. Good morning. Good question, Jari says, do we know if the whole conservation officer story is even true? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if a witness came forward and maybe media or somebody came around asking questions and, just trying to protect a witness, they just threw threw something out there, not expecting that everybody was going to like grab onto that and run with it. But I don't know. But if he did come forward, I'm pretty sure it was the 13th, the night of the 13th, or sometime on the 14th. Sometime before the image of this bridge guy was ever mentioned. Ivy says, Sleuth, what height was initially given for bridge guy and what's Richard Allen's height? That's a good point. Original was 5'6" to 5'10". And he's about, I don't know, he could be anywhere from 5'4" to 5'8". But in that one picture, he looks like he's like 5'3". Maureen says, I don't see any signs of abuse as yet regarding the spouse and daughter. These types of nut jobs hide their inner true self, just like an incel with a sexually dysfunctional mindset towards the opposite sex. Yeah, but I am really worried, when I think about his family. Like, I hope nothing bad happened to his daughter. Yeah, that's a good point, Kay. Kay says, if the BG so closely resembles Richard Allen in real life, how come nobody who knows him in real life ever recognized him as BG? I think they did. I mean, the guy was walking around in that blue jacket in the mall. Hey, what's going on, David? Good point. David Byer says, and of course, Richard Allen would have not known law enforcement had the video footage when he first put himself at the bridge. Yeah, so he had no clue. Or he did, and he knew he couldn't find that phone. So it would be wise of him to come forward early. If that was the case, it was a perfect strategy. It bought him 6 years. All right, let me zip down here to the bottom because we're getting out of here. Well, one thing is for certain that we all do know he or whoever it wasn't that picture way back of Elmer Fudd with those photo side by sides many were doing. Yep. How do you kill someone in someone else's backyard who you allegedly don't know? You have to know the owner won't be in the house, especially someone so protective of his property. Well, I disagree. I mean, he has a lot of property, and his home isn't anywhere near the bridge. And the bodies were barely found on his property. I mean, they were almost found like on city property. I'm assuming if they were any closer to that creek, it wouldn't even have been considered Ron Logan's property. That might even be a way to prove that they were found a certain distance from the creek. The fact that they could even say that they were found on Ron Logan's property is almost proof that they weren't found in the water. Because if they were found in the water, that's not Ron Logan's property. That's easement. Thank you, Cindy. Replay crew, have a great day. Yeah, if you guys are part of the replay crew, drop a comment. I like to check on my comments and get back to you guys. Thank you, Cindy. All right, let's do one or two more here. Let me go back up. Robin, hello. I also heard about Richard Allen and his wife were in a pool league and she was winning and that it was why Richard Allen was going to beat her. What the? Thank you, V. All right, here's a good point. CJK says we have 33 acres and our house is at the front of our property. We have no idea what goes on towards the back of our acreage. Mainly runs. Wow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he had a huge backyard. I mean, people are hunting. If you can hunt in your backyard, it's pretty big. If you can shoot a high powered rifle or bow or whatever without fear of hitting somebody, you got a pretty big area. All right, guys, I apologize if I didn't get to your comments. But that is all the time we have. I think tomorrow we're going to do like a true crime call in. So if you guys have some cases you've been looking at or you want to just chit chat, um, I'll have some free time tomorrow. We can hang out for about 2 hours. So hit the like button if you could on the way out. I'd appreciate it. Carol says Richard Allen is a poster child for malignant narcissism. Thanks, Digi. All right, guys. Like I said, check us out tomorrow, Friday night, True Crime Calling. Let's hang out. Could probably hang out for a while. Guess I'll see you then. Hey, Chopper. What's up, Chopper? Marbles, hey. All right, guys. Have a great day. See you later. Peace.